Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. What kind of a peace do I mean, and what kind of a peace do we seek? Not a Pax Americana, enforced on the world by American weapons of war. Not the peace of the grave or the security of the slave. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living. It's the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, peace in all time.
The Omega Wave Show. We're down here at Occupy St. Louis, in downtown heart of St. Louis. Craig's over in Oakland, interviewing them. We're gonna see what's going on here in St. Louis. Standing here with me is
Randy.
So Randy, tell me what's going on down here. What's the whole Occupy St. Louis movement about?
Especially against the Federal Reserve Bank, as well as Bank of America, and a variety of other corporations. You know, we are, after all, in the business central of Missouri.
Oh yeah.
And you know, that's our main target, trying to get employers that belong to a corporation to actually stop jumping through loopholes. We've learned that some of the abandoned buildings belong to a company called Pyramid that got caught a few years ago taking government grants and using them as collateral for loans, as well as sending some of the money to offshore accounts. And that's one of the things that we're protesting again, because even though they got caught, they're not the only corporations out there doing it.
No, not at all. So how's it been down here? I mean, the sign says, you know, day 32. Any police involvement?
Only in the beginning. I was the first one to get arrested out of the 10 or 11 that got arrested that night. And you know, ever since then, they've really left us alone. They showed their support. They told us, you know, they recommended us, you know, what times to march, because they go, you know, late at nights, you know, especially on the weekends, there's too many drunks around, and they were doing that out of concern of our safety, you know, because there's a lot of drunk driving. That's when they are busiest. And you know, we've talked to them. We thank them for not being like other cities and coming and beating the living tar out of us.
So the law enforcement in Missouri and St. Louis has been pretty good to you so far.
Yes.
Now, we were talking off camera. There was a thinly veiled threat from the mayor today about some.
Yes, I heard earlier today from a passerby that Mayor Slay made a comment on radio that we will not be here when winter hits. My little comment about that is Mayor Slay has no choice over what decision we make. Law enforcement has come in, you know, recommended, you know, what we can do, you know, for safety reasons, you know, because, you know, during winter, you know, you face hypothermia, frostbite, and a variety of other illnesses, and that was their concern. And we have been thinking about that, but we're not going to leave Keener Plaza.
Awesome, excellent. So, you guys are here for the long haul.
Yes.
And what, I mean, I know there's no leadership, and that's been established through all, there's no leadership.
I know.
So, do you find that more, because, you know, we were talking about that the other day, me and my co-host, about without having the effective leadership to help people know where we're going, what we're is it coming together without leadership?
It is. You know, yeah, there's some rocky moments, but I think we're better off without a leader, because if you look at past protests where they did have a designated leader, that designated leader would usually get hurt, you know, like with the...
Hello everybody, mic check, mic check.
He ended up getting assassinated.
We're going to be starting our discussion on racism and unemployment in the city of St. Louis. We're welcoming
all right, Randy,
the leader of the Universal African Peoples Organization, Dr.
Surround
Alright, we're still here at Occupy St. Louis talking to the various people. With me now is
Sasha.
Sasha, tell us what's going on from your point of view. Why are you down here?
I'm down here. I've been following social activism, various causes since a teenager. Starting with the Central American Peace Campaign, all the issues going on in the 80s back then, the Iran-Contra, Guatemala, El Salvador, and that kind of like woke me up as a teenager. I've been kind of like been paying attention to the world since then. I realized how incredibly messed up the world has been. And so I've been waiting for this movement for a long time, and now that it's here, I have to participate in that movement. You know, if I truly believe in things I believe in, I personally have to be out here. Or else I'm a hypocrite.
Exactly. How's it been out here for you so far?
It's been hectic. It's been chaotic. It's been exhilarating. I've met some great people. I've met some annoying people. But all in all, it's still positive. We're still moving forward. You know, some days we have setbacks. Some days we spend a lot of time forest fighting, as I like to call it. You know, we're not safety, we're smoke jumpers. So we're going forest fire to the next one. And but that also helps us build solidarity, come together, trying to problem solve the immediate issues, learning who works together, who plays well together with others, and that's going to, I think, make us strong enough to start dealing with some of those issues out there, which is what brought us down here in the first place. Exactly. Part of my radio.
One of the issues that Randy mentioned when we talked to him a little earlier was the Federal Reserve in do you really think this movement can take the reserve on? Or is it going to take somebody like a Ron Paul or a Rand Paul who are fighting it from the inside right now? Or is it a combination of the two? Where do you see this coming to a head at? To the point where we get a solution that's applicable to everybody.
I think that's where the process, I mean, this is where it gets tricky because there's a dynamic unique to America and solutions that are only possible in America. At the same time, this is a global revolution and we're going to be reacting to events across the globe. Some of them will be peaceful and awesome like Egypt. Some will be bloody and horrific like Libya and Syria. In this country, I think will remain a non-violent, peaceful movement. Certain elements in the past that have been destructive haven't been. I think they understand it's a new world, new tactics are called for true change, to create the change we want to be.
Right.
And the violent messes, the violent demonstrations, the riots of the past don't work. We'll still see those, like in Greece and other countries, because honestly, that's been their status quo. That's how they protest. I mean, they were doing it long before the occupation movement, and they'll probably be doing it long after the occupation movement. But I think in America, I think our greatest opponent here is society. Trying to get the 99% to come down and figure out what can we have consensus on. But I think we will get to that point, and I think the end game for this country will be a constitutional convention, a total restructuring of the political environment. I think both parties are going to see some changes. I mean, I don't think we will recognize the political environment in 5 years.
We can only hope.
And also, what that end game will look like, who will be the players in that end game, I don't know. Nobody knows yet.
You know, one of the big criticisms that I've heard of the whole Occupy movement is no leadership has stepped up. In the 60s, we had the Martin Luther King, you know, the JFKs, the RFKs. I mean, we had, and they were all targets.
Exactly.
So
that is not our weakness, that is our strength. If we're a leaderless movement, you can't cut off the head if there is no head to cut off. By not having any visible leaders, by not having any visible targets, but basically empowering everyone to step up and be their own personal leader, to take their own direct actions. You can't kill off the movement, because that's what killed it off in the 60s, with all those assassinations, all those people dying, and everyone else getting scared to step forward and replace those leaders. So by not having leaders this time around, I think is a strength for the movement. I mean, there are a lot of experienced activists and community organizers who have been working on these issues for a long time and are lending their expertise to this movement, but I think they're primarily doing it as individuals. You know, yes, they have contacts with various organizations, they may work for various organizations, but they're not out here representing more or Acorn, no longer exists, or the Tea Party, or the Democrat or Republican Party. They're out here as citizens, cooperating and working with other citizens.
So, I gotta agree with Randy here, or sorry, Sasha. One of the things that Craig and I have stressed repeatedly in the Omega Way, the only way to straighten our own house out is to take responsibility for ourselves. And for what our friend Sasha here has said, what we're basically wanting, what's basically being advised with the Occupy movement, is to step up and take responsibility for yourself, your house, your home, and your country, and quit leaving it to the fucking politicians.
Absolutely. I think the core fundamental principle of foundationalist movement is citizen empowerment. We're going to show the rest of the establishment that it's the truly strongest political force in this country, which is 300 really pissed off citizens. Excellent. 300 million pissed off citizens, I'm sorry.
I want to thank Sasha for his time.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
Scheduled program to bring you this breaking news report.
got a very special guest this week, sitting here on the couch, surrounded by Gwar paraphernalia, the one, the only, renowned author, video game voiceover expert, Dave Brocky. How you doing today,
I'm
Dave?
fine, thank you. I'm not often recognized for my other achievements, and I'm also realizing my fucking cell phone won't download my mail. Is that the fucking, is it the connection here? Is it the same reason I can't get a connection on the bus? It's pissing me off.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Welcome to St. Louis.
Thank you. It's always depressing to be here. Not that we love the show, we love the people, just this parking lot, the strip clubs, the fucking horrible factories, the lousy internet.
So, now, as we mentioned at the top, when I introduced you, you just wrote a book. What inspired this form of creativity? I mean, we've known for years, you're the architect. What made you decide to go with a book?
Well, actually, I wrote the book about 10 years ago at least. I've been writing shit my whole life, short stories, articles, song lyrics mostly, really. All kinds of shit, but movie scripts, you know, a lot of the show scripts, whatever. And so it was on my website for a long time, and then this publishing, I mean, I guess, you know, I just always kept after it, you know, kind of promoting my other projects as well as Odorous, and kind of overlapping all the different, like, fucked up fantasy worlds that I'm kind of running. You know, I want to get all the visions to kind of merge together, but so it just seemed like part of the process. But they went back and said, well, that's the whole fucking novel. Let's just go ahead and publish it in reality. And I tried to get people to publish it before. I just given up on it and just let it sit on my website forever. But finally, these people were just like, let's do it. And they Eraserhead Press put out War Ghoul, and my first novel had come out. Voila.
And where can we get War Ghoul at?
At Amazon.com. It's the best place. It's not really, you know, you don't see it like sitting around in bookstores, though bookstores can order it from Amazon. But it's more something you just order it from Amazon.com. They'll send one to your house.
Awesome. Now you're out on the road supporting the new record. How's this going? How's this run?
This run is great. A lot better than some of the other ones we've done lately of the U.S. We were doing like 3 or 4 months straight usually every year, and we were playing a lot of shithole fucking clubs and running the band fucking raw, and for some reason still not making any money at the end of the day. So this tour is more about just hitting the major Gwar strongholds, just devastating everything and leaving ruin in our wake, and then moving on to the next one. And instead of doing like 5 mediocre shows across the state, just one gigantic one, you know. So we're skipping a lot of the I know a lot of the fans are like, you know, from the smaller places, like, why are you coming to Boise? But it's like, well, you guys just have to drive to wherever, you know. You have to make a pilgrimage for your Gwar. It's like, we fucking came a hell of a long way to get the show that close to you. What, you can't drive 100 miles?
Exactly.
And the thing is, they do. And that way you get all the Gwar freaks from all over the fucking state or all over the area converging on one locale. And it's awesome.
So now, a lot of people may or may not know you're a pretty well-known political pundit as Odorous as well. You're on, was it Fox News quite a bit?
Have been on Fox a bunch. I've just been on a bunch of stuff. I mean, Gwar in general has gotten a lot of mileage on everything from NPR to, you know, the big thing that I had with Red Eye that went on for 14 whole episodes until they just kind of finally decided they'd had enough of Odorous's antics. But yeah, he's been pretty active outside of the band even. It's just like we have a product that sells itself, you know. So yeah, you can use Odorous as a way to, you know, he's a marvelously informed individual, and you can use him to comment on just about anything. But we found with this tour, we didn't even want to get into politics or current affairs or anything like that. We're so fed up with them. We just want to wallow in our own like retarded fantasy, violent, you know, metal, you know, hellhole, and so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and in the past, like with America Must Be Destroyed, Scumdogs, there's always been an underlying political theme there.
I hope so. I fucking hope so. I've tried to make it as obnoxious as possible. I think that, you know, I've been very vocal in that aspect of Gwar, to the point where you can't really take it too seriously. I mean, it's like, people don't really want Gwar to tell them what to think about politics, you know. They don't want Gwar to preach about that kind of stuff, but in a way we still have to deliver the message, And we just try to do it in the most, you know, Gwar way possible, which usually means ripping off someone's fucking head.
Well, whose head's getting ripped off tonight?
Snooki, and she's being carved up like a fucking turkey. It's disgusting.
It's
bloated with guts, and her entire viscera is paraded out. It's nice.
So, is it an overall disgust with reality TV that's it's Snooki's turn? Or?
Yes. Yes, it's just the whole way that you can be not. It's completely untalented, you know, grotesque, you know, ill-informed, ignorant, obnoxious, self-serving, just void of talent. It's like, why is this interesting in any way so possible? It's like anybody now can be a star, I suppose, and that's the price of having a free internet, I guess, because that's kind of what's happened, you know. So it's good for us anyway. I mean, if somebody like Snooki can make $1 million, you know, can Gwar be right behind her?
Well, exactly. I mean, you guys are talented. It's got to be a real...
We're happy to have Snooki in the show. It's very nice of her to appear, you know.
So is it an overall statement of the lackadaisicalness of the country, of the citizens, that we just sit by and allow this shit to pass as entertainment?
Honestly, the way we came up with Snooki is we just sat around and we were like, what's the best person to kill? What's the most obvious target? Because if you make it too weird, I mean, there's such a slew. That makes it harder than ever for Gwar to really do a good target, because there's such a slew of lame targets, you know? It's like we don't have any big standout figures, it seems, in society, like I've used to have had in the past, where, you know, we had our Clintons and our fucking George Bushes and our Saddams, you know? You know, they've killed everybody, you know? A bunch of the Gwar targets are dead, you know, the traditional ones. There's no more boogeymen, you know?
Well, you know, speaking of boogeymen, what's your take on what happened in Libya recently with Gaddafi being taken out?
That's good. Well, Gaddafi was always anti-West, and he was going to go down hard. He played this whole game with the West for like the last 10 years, and even had like 2 months before the revolution broke out, he was Dick Cheney was over there in his tent having a good time with him. So, you know, that's how close he was to the U.S. government, and then just like that, it got turned around on him, and he went down brutally, like a brutal dictator will go down. Supposedly sodomized with a knife. He had a very cruel end given to him, but you know that you could expect nothing less from Muammar.
Exactly. Now, my co-host, guitarist for Forbidden, Craig LaCicero, is out interviewing the Occupy Oakland people right now.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think of the whole Occupy movement? Is it stupid? Is it good?
It's not stupid at all. I love it. I think it's a great fucking idea. I'm backing it 100%. I wanted to get involved in it earlier on this tour, but we have to wait till it's over, because if Oderus got thrown in jail, that would undoubtedly lead to the costume getting confiscated, and this whole tour would be, I would be sure I would do it naked, you know, or whatever it took for the show to go on. But I've been supporting it on my social media stuff, so I'm looking to get more involved in it. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, the way this fucking country is run is completely fucked up. If you don't support the protests, then you have to really wonder what you are supporting, and especially these heavy-handed police tactics. Like, I just saw from our hometown, Richmond, they just moved the camp there, and they brought in fucking bulldozers to do it. There's no reason to fucking do that, you know. You don't need bulldozers to fucking move tents, and you know, it's just like they were really underhanded about the way they set the whole thing up. The city council was carrying on with the protesters like everything was cool. They worked out an agreement, and then in the middle of the night, 1 a.m., the fucking cops show up with fucking bulldozers, and they gave everyone 40 minutes to get out, and then leveled the camp. Fucking super brutal. So fuck these people. And as soon as this tour is over, I'm gonna check it out firsthand. You know, I was hoping to get into it a little bit more on this tour. Maybe we'll see. I know there's a big camp here actually in St. Louis that I rolled by earlier, but I haven't gotten to spend any real time in them yet. So I think it's fucking very, very fucking interesting, very seductive. Something that I could truly get into and be completely immersed by, and get out there and maybe do some real damage.
You know, the thing I keep hearing, the main criticism of the whole Occupy movement, is there's a lack of a focus. There's a lack of leadership at the top. Is that intentional, or do you think that void's what's going to bring it crashing down on itself?
It's essential right now because everyone's so pig-headed, you know, and that's what it's all about. It's personal freedom. Everyone wants to have their say about everything. So, you know, but there has to be leadership at some point. So hopefully they'll get their shit together. They're doing a good job so far. They really, really are. I mean, I'm really impressed with everything I'm reading in the papers and in the liberal media. It seems to be pretty supportive of it, and even the conservative media certainly is giving credit for being a powerful movement, you know, with a lot of potential. But now, you know, you've got alarmingly, the government is like slowly but surely shutting down a lot of these camps, and you just gotta wonder how long it's going to be till they get to New York, or whether it'll go one way or the other. It'll either continue to spread, or it'll contract the other direction, and it'll slowly go until it reaches a bloody conclusion. And I hope it does have to go to a bloody conclusion if it does reach a conclusion in a negative sense.
All right. Well, Dave, I know you got a lot to do before the show.
Not really, dude.
No. We're going to let Dave take care.